guys, it is April from Getting Hookah with It. Today I'm here to chat with you about my December TBR, so let's get into it. So if you didn't watch last month's TBR, I'm doing a new thing and I'm loving it, like genuinely loving this. It's called The Cup of TBR. And it is very much inspired by Cody's book corner. She has a wheel of TBR. I don't know how to make a wheel like that. And so I have a cup instead. And inside the cup is all sorts of prompts, which we're going to get to really soon. And I have to pick 4 prompts for the month and then pick some books around those prompts and read those books. So let's talk about the prompts that are in the cup. I've got 12 prompts and I have to pick 4 from them. First up is backlist, one word title, I can't speak apparently, April pick, gifted, so this is a book that someone actually gifted me, not an ARC, like someone in my life, treat yourself, so that's an excuse to go shopping, which I always welcome, husband pick, so Barry will have to pick if I pick that one. Most anticipated, spooky, blurbed, short read, which is always welcome, ARC, and newest buy. Now I should mention I am in the middle of 2 books, so I will either be reading them on their own, or if they fit with one of these prompts, maybe I'll pick them. First is the Secret Commonwealth. This is the second book in the Book of Death series. We follow, I don't know if you've read The Golden Compass. By the way, the HBO show, His Dark Materials, is so good. I've watched 2 episodes so far. I'm watching them with Barry, and so he's like much more leisurely about watching them. I just want to binge watch them all. Anyway, this follows Lyra 20 years later, and it's just, I'm loving this. I was very nervous going into it because many people on BookTube, specifically Jen Campbell, who His Dark Materials are like her favorite books of all time, she has not loved this, and she was disappointed. So I was really going into it going, oh, it's probably not going to be for me either, but I'm loving it. So I'm really glad I'm having a different experience than Jen. Another book that I'm in the middle of, really not far in, is The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. So those are going down. That said, I'm still going to pick 4 prompts from here. Let's begin and stop dilly-dallying around. First of all, I'm going to shuffle these because I just like read through them and I want it to be super random if I can. All right, let's find one. Blurbed. So this means I need to go to my shelves and look at books where some of my favorite authors have blurbed them and said, I recommend this. So gimme, this might take a while. Apologies if everything changed visually. I just knocked over the camera while I was sitting down. Anyway, I found 2. That took forever. I think I was doing that for 15 minutes. This is a very hard prompt, blurbed. So I have 2. The first is The Hiding Place by C.J. Tudor. Now I really enjoyed her first book. She wrote The Chalk Man, which is very much an homage to Stephen King, and I thought a really good one. So this is her second book, and it came out last year, and I just never got around to picking it up. And this is about a man named Joe who never really wanted to come home. He does end up coming home, and he's working as a teacher, I think. And he has a very good reason for coming home, though, and he keeps it on the down low, and I don't think we find out until later. But he's staying in an abandoned cottage that was once the site of a gruesome murder that I think he knows about. And he's basically following around this local bully and trying to figure out, I think, what happened exactly one fateful day many years ago in his past. I have no idea whether it will be amazing or not, but I really like her writing. She's a great writer, so this is definitely a potential for Blurbed. The other, oh, I forgot to mention who blurbed it. Kind of important. Riley Sager blurbed this, and he said, deliciously creepy, impeccably plotted, and laced with both wicked humor and genuine shocks. The Hiding Place is the kind of read under the covers thriller you didn't think people wrote anymore. Lucky for us, CJ Tudor still does. An absolute corker of a book. And I love Riley Sager. Riley Sager wrote Final Girls, The Last Time I Lied, Lock Every Door. I had to think about that for a second. Sorry. Anyway, so Riley Sager blurbed that one. And then for this book, I'm going to start with who blurbed it. AJ Finn blurbed The Chestnut Man. And AJ Finn is the author of The Woman in the Window. Very scandalous kind of author. I really like his writing though. So he said, a full throttle thriller, say that 5 times fast, in the tradition of classic Stieg Larsson, drenched in atmosphere and charged with adrenaline. Buckle up, you'll gulp down every word. I loved this book. Now, first of all, AJ Finn should make money off of the blurbs that he does. He writes the best blurbs. If I ever wrote a thriller, I would want AJ Finn to write a blurb for mine. I mean, some people would, but he's really good at it. Doesn't that sound like that sells the book? This is also written by the guy who used to write the TV series The Killing, which I really liked. Now, this is a detective series, which, as you know, I have very much struggled with in the past. But it's about a psychopath who is kind of terrorizing Copenhagen. He has a calling card, which is a little chestnut man, which is a handmade doll that he makes of matchsticks and 2 chestnuts, and he leaves them at each bloody crime. The detectives get involved, and forensics examine one of the dolls, and they find a fingerprint belonging to a young girl who was a government minister's daughter who had been kidnapped and murdered a year ago. And they're wondering, is this a coincidence or are they linked? I don't even know how you could think it's a coincidence. And yeah, so you're kind of playing detective alongside them, and it just sounds like so much fun. The only reason really that I haven't picked it up is it's enormous, like over 500 pages, which is very large for a thriller. I think you can agree. But those are the 2 options that I have for blurbed. I think they're good ones. Where's the cup of TBR? Here it is. Whew. So, first of all, I'm going to take this out now, and I'm going to add another prompt to the actual cup. I can't see. I am not looking. And we're adding new author to the mix. Okay, so now I have to go ahead and shuffle these a little bit. Shuffling, and we're picking my second prompt now. 1-word title. This could also take several hours. Okay, wish me luck. The struggle is real. I just had to move this again because my battery was dying. Oh my word. Okay, 1-word title. Also unbelievably hard. What in the world? Okay, first of all, I could read Blindsided by Karen Slaughter, who I love. I very much love her. Barry got this for me last Christmas. Also, if Gifted comes up, I could use this. So this is set in Georgia. A pediatrician and medical examiner find Sybil Adams dead in the local diner. She's been viciously raped and cut. She has 2 deep knife wounds that form a lethal cross on her stomach. And then a second victim is found a few days later, crucified. So obviously this is some sort of religious psychopath doing this. And they're basically trying to find out what happened. So this pediatrician and medical examiner like joins a police chief and they try to find out what happened. And Karen Slaughter, as you know, is a wonderful, wonderful writer. So that is 100% an option. And then I also have Himself by Jess Kidd. I really, really enjoyed Mr. Flood's Last Resort. I think that one was called The Hoarder in Britain. This is about a man who is abandoned on the steps of an orphanage as an infant. And all his life he thought that his mom gave him up, but he learns over time that maybe she didn't and maybe there was foul play involved, so he like dives in. Another thing, I could add this to my blurbed section because this was blurbed by M.L. Stedman, who wrote The Light Between Oceans, which is one of my all-time favorite books. And what she said about this one is, she said, it's a highly unusual tale set in a highly unusual Irish village, full of dark secrets and engaging characters, not all of them still alive. Lushly imagined, delightfully original, and very, very funny. I can't wait for more from Jess Kidd. And you know who I can't wait for more from is M.L. Stedman. She's only written one, and I would read anything she writes. So anyway, this is another option. A beast of a book, Pachinko, is also another option. This takes place in Korea. We meet a girl she finds out she's pregnant, and the guy that she's pregnant by just basically abandons her. And this older man kind of takes his place and says that he'll marry her, even though, you know, no one would in the early 1900s. And she ends up moving with him to Japan, and it is about her experience in Japan. Apparently Korean people who moved to Japan in that time were kind of treated as second-class citizens. So I have really wanted to read this for a long time. It's just really big. Like, this is about 500 pages. Maybe not quite. Oh, it makes me nervous, but I also really want to read it. So that's an option. Another option is Americanah by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She's a beautiful writer. I've only read her very, very short nonfiction. This follows 2 people who are completely in love in military-ruled Nigeria. One of them leaves for America, and I think the other leaves for London, and it's their experiences as immigrants. I just think that this would be wonderful to read. This is also like 600 pages. Why do I keep picking enormous books? Why haven't I learned my lesson? So that is the option for one-word title. Now I need to do 2 more. I have to throw another one of these into the cup of TBR. So here I am shuffling. Okay, and what is going into the cup? Series. Ooh, what would I even choose for series? Oh dear, that makes me nervous. Okay, now I'm going to pick. Shuffling. As you can see, I am not looking. Just shuffling. Oh, struggling with the shuffles. And short read. Thank the gods. Thank the gods is a short read. I actually think I know exactly what I'm going to choose. I do. This is very simple. I'm choosing The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. I need to finish it anyway. It's Christmassy, cozy. That is the one I'm picking for that. That was easy. So The Woman in Black, in case you don't know, is about a man who goes to this very enormous house. I think it's the early 1900s or the late 1800s. He goes there. It's called Eel Marsh House. And he's taking care of this old woman's affairs. She has passed away. and he gets stuck there overnight because a mist has rolled in. So atmospheric. And he realizes there's a ghost there. He's not alone. Ah, I loved it. This is a reread for me. Short and sweet, totally happening. Okay, so now I need to add another one of these into the cup. So shuffling, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And I have chosen pull. So this one, I would pull you guys. I would pick a bunch of books and I would let you know which books they are, and then I would ask you to pick one for me. So that's going in, and now I am shuffling, shuffling, shuffling. This is the last pick. Most anticipated. What am I most excited to read on my shelves? Oh dear. I'll be back. So I've got 4 that I'm super anticipated to read. 2 of them we've already talked about. So I'm going to just, briefly mention them. The first is The Chestnut Man, just because I've heard such good things about it. So that's a book that has been very anticipated for me. Another is what I'm in the middle of, that like every chance I get, I just want to dive back in to The Secret Commonwealth. So that is most anticipated too. And then 2 more. A Christmassy book, 7 Days of Us. This is about, it's kind of like a women's literature. I don't know why they call it women's literature or chick lit exactly, but it's Christmas time and the Birch family are getting together again for the first time after a long time. Their daughter, Olivia, is coming home. She's a doctor. And she's been treating an epidemic abroad, and she's told she has to stay in quarantine for a week. And so basically her whole family has to stay in quarantine as well. And there's a secret that is revealed, and it's supposed to be really funny. And it just seems very quaint and perfect for this time of year. So that's anticipated. Another wintry one that I have heard mixed things about is The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. This is set in Alaska, I think in the 70s. 1974. I was right. And this follows a family who moved to Alaska. The father, the patriarch of the family, is a former POW. He comes home from the Vietnam War, very much a changed man. It sounds like he's very volatile, a little bit violent. And they move there, and it's about the isolation of living there, feeling trapped in this kind of dynamic. I don't know why I would want to read this in December. It doesn't seem very cheery at all. But I think it's the cold atmosphere that it's kind of interesting to me. So that, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about one more. I'll be back. Sorry about that. I've been thinking about this book a ton. I don't know why I didn't reach for it right away. The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. I have been hemming and hawing about this one recently. This is the sequel to The Handmaid's Tale. That's all you need to know, really. That's all I need to know. So that is definitely an option too for most anticipated. And that's it. Now, I need to just shuffle, 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 and throw another one into the cup of TBR. So it really is 12 in there. So I'm ready for next month, which I can't believe it will be January 2020 or 2020, however you like to say it. And I am choosing to put in the cup, Try a Chapter Thriller bonus video. So this is something that I just recently thought up. Basically, if I choose this, if I pull this out of the cup, I will have to try a chapter. I have to pick a bunch of thrillers and try a chapter from each of them, and I would end up doing a whole other video for you when I was about to pick up a thriller. I don't know if that makes sense. It would make sense in reality in doing it. Whew, we're done. We're done my December TBR. I think this video is going to be like 7 hours long. So thumbs up if you've come to the end of this. Thank you so much for watching. I have an enormous stack of books here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 books. I will not read 11 books, but I'll be definitely picking from them. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I really enjoy doing the cup of TBR. It's changed the way I read and I like it. So I hope you're liking it too. I'll talk to you later. Oh, what are you reading in December? Duh, I would love to know. I'm gonna go and drink some coffee because I'm clearly just lost my mind. I'll see you soon. Bye guys.